Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, January 15th, 2026. College basketball, NBA, NHL, soccer, golf on this day, news and notes, and best bet. We'll begin with college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Try to get this in quick because there's some 6 o'clock games. VCU over Rhode Island 84-75, Holy Cross over Army 82-75, Lehigh over BU 93-91 in OT, Chattanooga over Wofford 76-67, Western Carolina over East Tennessee State 72-68, number 5 Purdue over Iowa 79-72, Winthrop over High Point 92-75, Xavier over Butler 89-75, Ole Miss number 21 Georgia 97-95 in OT. Indiana State over Illinois State 94-89, St. Joe's over St. Bonaventure 68-64, Richmond over LaSalle 74-58, Davidson over George Washington 84-79, South Florida over East Carolina 82-71, Tulsa over Charlotte 86-74, Cincinnati over Colorado 77-68, STFC over Charleston Southern 86-81 in OT, Presbyterian over ENC Asheville 71-70, Radford over Gardner Webb 89-80, Rider over Iona 72-68, Pitt over Georgia Tech 89-66, St. Peter's over Quinnipiac 74-70, Colgate over Loyola Maryland 86-80, Sacramento over Siena 86-80, Niagara over Canisius 59-54, Fairfield over Manhattan 98-62, Furman over Sanford 77-73, Troy over Southern Miss 91-65, Coastal over Marshall 85-83, Missouri over Auburn 84-74, Kentucky over LSU 75-74, Kennesaw State over FIU 89-86, Sam Houston over Jacksonville State 77-62, Bucknell over Lafayette 76-69, UAB over Tulane 82-69, Western Kentucky over Missouri State 87-72, Louisiana Tech over Middle Tennessee 59-58, San Diego State over Wyoming 74-57, Drake over Southern Illinois 76-73 in OT, St. Louis over Fordham 78-56, Rice over UTSA 89-73, Memphis over Temple 55-53, UCF over Kansas State 82-73, North Dakota State over South Dakota State 76-65, Texas State over Louisiana 59-54, number 13 Illinois over Northwestern 79-68, UCLA over Penn State 71-60, Texas over number 10 Vandy 80-64, Stanford over number 14 North Carolina 95-90, number 15 Texas Tech over Utah 88-74, number 17 Arkansas over South Carolina 108-74, Pepperdine over Portland 67-63, SMU over Virginia Tech 77-76, Denver over Oral Roberts 98-87, number 23 Utah State over Nevada 71-62, Santa Clara over Pacific 85-69, Loyola Marymount loses to Oregon State 76-70, number 1 Arizona over Arizona State 89-82, number 4 Michigan over Washington 82-72, number 6 Duke over Cal 71-56, number 11 BYU over TCU 76-70. Okay, now we move on to tonight, 6 o'clock NJIT UMass Lowell. I have Lowell 5.7. It is 8.5 and 145.5. I'll take NJIT getting the points. UMBC Bryant. My line is Bryant 3.3 underdog. So UMBC by 3.5. And it is 1.5 and 135 in FLA with UMBC. Mercer VMI 3.7. Mercer 8.5 total 153.5. Give me VMI plus 8.5 and plus 375 to win outright. That's way too many points. New Mexico State Liberty. CBS Sports Network. I have Liberty 8.7. It's 8.5, 144.5. I'll go over. Robert Morris IU Indy 630. My line's IU Indy 6.3 underdogs. And it is 5.5 and 161.5. I'll go under. Binghamton Albany. My line is Albany 3.5, and it's 7.5, 138.5. I'll take Binghamton the points. James Madison App State. I have James Madison 1.7. It's App State 1.5 total 134.5. I'll take JMU plus 1.5 and plus 112 to win the game straight up. 7 o'clock Youngstown State Wright State. I have Wright State by 2. And it's 4.5 and 142.5. I'll take Youngstown to cover. Oakland, Milwaukee, ESPNU. I have Milwaukee by 2. And it's Oakland 2.5 to 166.5. I'll take Milwaukee plus 2.5 and plus 114 to win. Detroit, Mersey, Northern Kentucky. I have Northern Kentucky 8.7. It's 9.5, 159.5. I'll go under. Green Bay, Cleveland State. I have Green Bay 5.7. And it's 3.5, 149.5. I'll lay it. Maine, Vermont. I have Vermont by 14. And it is 14.5 and 129.5. I'll go over. Elon, Northeastern. I have Northeastern 2.7. And it's Elon 2.5 total 159.5. I'll take Northeastern plus 2.5 and plus 132 to win. NCAA team, William and Mary. I have William and Mary by 15. And it's 13.5 and 162.5. I'll go under. Drexel, Monmouth. I have Monmouth 5.7. It's 5.5, 129.5. I'll go way over on that one. Hofstra, Stony Brook. My line is Hofstra 7.3. It's 6.5, 134.5. I'll go over. The Citadel, UNC Greensboro. I have Greensboro 7.7. And it is 9.5 and 148.5. Over. Don't feel good about it though. Old Dominion, Georgia Southern. I'm Georgia Southern 4.7. And it's 6.5 and 162.5. I'll go under. West Georgia, Stetson. I have Stetson 3.8. And it is West Georgia 2.5 total 151.5. I'll take Stetson plus 2.5 and plus 120 outright. Queens, Florida Gulf Coast. I have Queens 5.8. It's Gulf Coast 1.5 total 166.5. I'll take Queens plus 1.5 and plus 112 to win. North Florida, North Alabama. I have North Alabama 19.8. And it's 9.5 and 157. FLA with North Alabama. That's high. Or that's low, I mean. UTEP, Delaware. I have Delaware 4.3. And it is 1.5, 126.5. FLA with UDEL. Jacksonville, Central Arkansas 7:30. My line is Jacksonville by a half. And it is Central Arkansas 7.5 total 135. And I'll take Jacksonville plus the points. And the money line at plus 310. 8 o'clock, Kansas City, South Dakota. I have South Dakota 8.2. It's 8.5, 157.5. I'll go under. St. Thomas, North Dakota. I have St. Thomas 5.5. It's 9.5 and 151.5. I'll take North Dakota plus 9.5. Charleston, Towson, CBS Sports Network. I have Charleston by 2. And it's Towson 2.5 to the 142.5. I'll take Charleston plus 2.5 and plus 118 to win. Arkansas State, South Alabama. I have South Alabama 1.7. And it's 3.5 and 154.5. I'll take South Alabama plus 3.5 and plus 152 to win. Eastern Kentucky, Austin P. I have Austin P by 10. It's 7.5, 154.5. I'll lay it. Bellarmine, Lipscomb. I have Lipscomb by 10. 10.5, 154.5. I'll go over. Eastern Illinois, Little Rock. I have Little Rock by 7. And it's 6.5, 133.5. I'll go over. Cal Baptist, Abilene Christian. I have Abilene Christian 1.5. It's Cal Baptist 1.5 total 139.5. I'll take Ab Christian plus 1.5 and minus 106 to win. Southern Indiana, Tennessee Tech. At 8:30. I have 10 Tech by 5. And it is 5.5 and 144.5. Over. SIU Edwardsville, Tennessee Martin. I have Tennessee Martin 4.5. And it's 8.5, 132.5. I'll take Edwardsville plus 8.5. I think that is pretty high. Morris State, Tennessee State. I have Tennessee State 8.8. It's 7.5, 148.5. I'll go over. Tarleton State, Southern Utah. I have Tarleton State 5.3, 3.5, 150.5. I'll go under. 9 o'clock, ESPN 2, Wichita State, Florida Atlantic. I have Florida Atlantic 1.2, and it's 3.5 and 156.5. I'll take Wichita plus 3 in the hook. Fullerton, UC Davis. I have UC Davis 7.6. And it's 3.5, 167.5. I'll lay the points with UC Davis. Idaho State. I have Idaho 2.7. And it's Idaho State 2.5 to the 149. I'll take Idaho plus 2.5 and plus 120. Eastern Washington, Weber State. I have Weber State 3.7. And it's 3.5, 159.5. I'll actually take a rare over on that one. ESPNU Lindenwood in Southeast Missouri. I have Southeast Missouri 0.7. And it's 6.5 and 154.5. That's high. Give me Lindenwood plus 6.5. And I am willing to go plus 225 on the money line. I think that is very high for Southeast Missouri State to be favored. Texas Arlington, Utah Tech. I have Texas Arlington 2.8. It's Tech 1.5 to 142.5. I'll take Texas Arlington plus 1.5 and even money to win. UC Santa Barbara, Bakersfield 930. My line is Santa Barbara 2.7. And it's 6.5 and 145. I'll take Bakersfield plus 6.5. On that one. 10 o'clock, CBB Sports Network. Number 9, Gonzaga, Wazoo. My name is Gonzaga 9.3. And it's 8.5 and 156.5. I'll take Wazoo plus 8.5. Or 18.5, my bad. San Diego, Seattle. My line is Seattle 6.8. And it is 9.5, 148.5. I'll take San Diego plus 9.5. UC Riverside, Long Beach State. I have Long Beach 4.3. And it's 5.5, 141.5. I'll go over. Hawaii and Cal Poly. I have Hawaii 5.7. And it's 6.5, 156.5. I'll go under. Cal State Northridge, UC San Diego. I have UC San Diego 4.3. And it's 7.5, 150.5. I'll take Northridge getting the points. Northern Colorado, Portland State. I have Portland State 8.5. It's 2.5, 155, and I'll lay with Portland State. I think that is a little low, and that might be a Vegas nose line for Northern Colorado possible bettors. And then Northern Arizona, Sac State. I have Sac State 5.3. It's 3.5 and 156.5. I'll take the over, but I don't feel good about it. Okay, now move on to the NBA. We'll go over the results from last night and this afternoon, and we'll look ahead to the games tonight. Okay, so yesterday, Raptors over the Pacers 115-101, Cavs over the Sixers 133-107, Bulls over the Jazz 128-126, Pelicans over the Nets 116-109, Nuggets over the Mavs 118-109, Kings over the Knicks 112-101, Clippers over the Wiz 119-105. All right, so tonight, and today, Magic over the Grizzlies 118-111 from Berlin. My projection for that game was Orlando by hang on with the I need to see what the number was. With John Moran, it would have been Orlando 3.625. And I had it without Moran, Orlando 7.125. And the closing numbers turned out to be 4.5 and 230.5. So I would have had to lay it with Orlando. All right, so 7 o'clock tonight, Suns Pistons. I have Detroit by 14. And it is 7.5, 219.5. I'll lay 7.5 for the Pistons. That's low. I think the Suns are an overrated team. Celtics Heat 7:30. I have Miami 1.125. It's Boston 2.5. Total 233.5. It's like Miami plus 2.5 and plus 120. That line stinks. Also 7:30 on Prime Video. Thunder Rockets. I have Thunder 3.75. It's 5.5, 221.5. I'll go over. I'm surprised that they're lowering OKC's numbers. 8 o'clock, Bucks Spurs. My line is San Antonio 6.25. It's 7.5, 224.5. I'll go over. 8:30, Jazz Mavs. I have Mavs 5.75. And it's 3.5 and 236.5. I'll lay the points with Dallas. 10 o'clock, Prime Video, Knicks Warriors. My line is Golden State 4.625 without Jalen Brunson. And it is 7.5, 228.5. I'll take the Knicks covering 7.5. I just think the Warriors are not very good, and they're dealing with the Jonathan Kuminga drama. Hawks Blazers. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to win. I just think that game's a little more competitive because of the dysfunction that's going on with the Warriors. Hawks Blazers. My line is the Hawks 4.875. And it's 4 and 230.5. I like the over. And last but not least, 10:30 Hornets Lakers. My line is the Lakers 5.25. 3.5, 233.5. I will go with the over. Okay, now I'll move on to the NHL. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Sens over the Rangers 8-4. Devils over the Kraken 3-2 in OT and a goal by Nico Hischier. Sabres over the Flyers 5-2 and the Golden Knights over the Kings 3-2 in OT on a game winner by Mark Stone. All right, tonight, 7 o'clock. Habs Sabres from Buffalo. I wonder if Buffalo's favored in this game. This is a big one. No, Montreal minus 130. Buffalo plus 108 over under 6.5. Overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Montreal minus 1.5 plus 180. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 225. I'm going to go with the Sabres at home plus 108. This is the home dog. On ESPN, Flyers Penguins, both teams with 52 points. Pens are minus 172. Flyers plus 142 over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 170. Pens minus 1.5 plus 130. I think the ESPN's jacking it up because of Pittsburgh. I'm going to go over 6.5 goals even money. I think the Flyers are live tonight as well. Sharks Capitals. Caps minus 178. Sharks plus 146 over under 6.5. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 162. Caps minus 1.5 plus 132. I'm going to go with the under at plus money. Canucks Blue Jackets. Columbus minus 170. Canucks plus 140 over under 6.5. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 170. Jackets minus 1.5 plus 138. For this one, I'm going to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets in regulation, minus 105. 8 o'clock, Kraken Bruins. I don't know why the Bruins are playing at 8 o'clock. They're minus 172 favorites. Kraken's plus 142 over under 5.5. Overs minus 140. Unders plus 112. Seattle plus 1.5 is minus 176. Bruins minus 1.5 plus 142. I'm going to go with the under at plus money. That's pretty good bet on the board for me. Jets Wild. Wild minus 132. Jets plus 110 over under 5.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Wild plus 1.5 or Jets plus 1.5 is minus 130. Wild minus 1.5 plus 184. I'm going with the over. 8:30 Flames Blackhawks from Chicago. Blackhawks minus 115. Flames minus 104 over under 5.5. Overs minus 138. Unders plus 112. Flames plus 1.5 is minus 260. Blackhawks minus 1.5 plus 205. I'm going with Chicago at home minus 115. 9 o'clock Stars Mammoth from Utah. Mammoth minus 118. Stars minus 102 over under 5.5. Overs minus 138. Unders plus 112. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 260. Mammoth minus 1.5 plus 205. Dallas has some injuries that they're dealing with. That's why they're a dog. I'm going to go with the Mammoth minus 118. Islanders Oilers. Oilers have turned it around. They're a home favorite tonight. Minus 166. The Owls are plus 138 over under 6.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Owls plus 1.5 is minus 172. Oilers minus 1.5 plus 138. I'm going with the over at minus 112. 9:30 ESPN Maple Leafs Golden Knights. Vegas minus 130. Leafs plus 108 over under 6.5. Overs plus 110. Unders minus 134. Leafs plus 1.5 is minus 225. Vegas minus 1.5 plus 180. I'm going to go with the over at plus money. Okay, now I'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and today and look ahead to tomorrow. So, yesterday's results. Carabao Cup, first leg. Arsenal over Chelsea, 3-2. Spanish Copa del Rey. Alaves over Rayo Vallecano, 2-0. Albacete over Real Madrid, 3-2. Real Betis over Elche, 2-1. Bundesliga. VfL Wolfsburg over St. Pauli, 2-1. Bayern Munich over FC Cologne, 3-1. RP Leipzig over SC Freiburg, 2-0. TSG Hoffenheim over Magdeburg, 5-1. Liga MX. Cruz Azul over Alatlas, 2-0. Tijuana over Querétaro, 2-1. Atletico de San Luis over America, 2-0. UNAM over Tigres, 1-0. And Toluca over Santos, 3-1. Cup of Nations. Senegal over Egypt 1-0. Nigeria, Morocco 0-0 draw. Morocco advances 4-2 on penalties. Syria, Napoli, Parma 0-0 draw. And Inter over Lecce 1-0. Pro League, Al Qadiash over Al Faya 5-0. Al Ali over Al Tawoun 2-1. Al Shabab over Niamey 3-2. Premiership, Celtic over Falkirk 1-0 and Hearts over St. Mirren 2-0. And then today, Copa del Rey, Valencia over Burgos 2-0. Barcelona over Racing Santander 2-0. Bundesliga, FC Union Berlin, FC Augsburg 1-1 draw. Serie A, Bologna over Verona 3-2 and Milan over Como 3-1. Women's FA Cup, Everton over West Brom 5-0. Dutch KNVB Becker, Heerenveen over RKC Waldrich 3-1 and FC Volendam over Sparta Rotterdam 2-1. A friendly, RB Salzburg over Red Star 2-0. And then tomorrow, 3 o'clock, La Liga, Espanyol and Girona. Espanyol minus 115, Girona plus 340, draw plus 240. Going with Espanyol at home minus 115. Bundesliga 230, Bremen, Frankfurt. Bremen plus 165, Frankfurt plus 150, draw plus 260. I'm going with Bremen at home plus 165 as a slight dog. Liga MX will do tomorrow. Serie A 245, Pisa, Atalanta. Atalanta minus 175, Pisa 5-1. The draws plus 290. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at minus 106. French League 1, 1 o'clock, AS Monaco and Lorient. Monaco minus 155, Lorient 4-1. The draws plus 310. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 142. And at 3 o'clock, PSG Lille. PSG minus 50, Lille 6-1. The draws plus 410. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals at plus 124. ELC West Brom Borough. They changed the soccer setup here. Yeah, for some reason. The ELC is not coming up. But West Brom's a plus 145. I'll take that. The Pro League tomorrow, 8:40, El Najma Al Fateh. I'm going to go Fateh minus 115. Al Khalija Al Khalou, 9:45. We'll go over 2.5. Al Ittihad and Al Ettifaq, we're going to go over 3.5 for that. And then Women's FA Cup, Newcastle United and West Ham United. I'm trying to find the Women's Cup here. They took down a lot of soccer stuff, which sucks. But there's no lineup. And then the Scottish Cup is Rangers and Annan Athletic. So there you have it for soccer. Now we're going to do on this day, or I'm sorry, golf. We're going to look at the leaderboard as of now for the Sony Open. Right now, your leader with 8 under is Nick Taylor. Tied for second, 7 under, Ben Griffin, Chris Cotter, Kevin Roy. Tied for 5th, 6 under, John Vanderlaan and Alex Smalley. Tied for 7th, 5 under, Danny McCarthy, Kurt Katayama, Russell Henley, Harry Hall, Nick Dunlap, and John Parry. Tied for 13th with 4 under, Bryce Garnett, Emiliano Grillo, JJ Spawn, Hale Tong Lee. Tied for 17th with 3 under. Michael Kim, Austin Eckler, Seamus Power, Adam Scott, Robert McIntyre, Danny Walker, David Ford. Now we're going to do notables. Time for 31st with 2 under. Epic Van Rooyen, Pearson Cootie, S.T. Lee, Chris Kirk, Billy Horschel. Time for 42nd, 1 under. I apologize. This thing keeps moving on me. Tom Kim, Jacob Bridgman, Sam Stevens, Taylor Pendrith, Aaron Ray, Rico Hoey, Zichung Du, Chad Ramey, Zach Blair, Eric Cole, Zach Johnson, Rafael Campos, Keegan Bradley, Hideki Matsuyama, Nico Echevarria, Ryan Gerard, Jake Knapp, Adrian Sadier, Adrian DeMonta Chazard, Davis Chatfield, S.H. Kim, Luke Clanton. Tied for 65th at even. Gary Woodland, Matai Schmid, Corey Conner, Stephen Fisk, William Mao, Patton Kazir, Corey Kazuma, Kota Kaneko, Lee Hodges, Webb Simpson, Bayo Hostler, Daniel Berger, Jordan Spieth, Joe Highsmith, Tony Finau, Chandler Batchett, Brian Harmon, Matt McNeely, Jordan Smith, Max McGreevy, Dan Brown, Keith Mitchell, tied for 91st and 1 over. Rio Hisatune, Adam Shank, Tom Hogue, Hank Lebioda, Austin Smotherman, tied for 102nd, 2 over. Doug Gim, Dylan Wu, tied for 107th to 3 over. Gordon Sargent and C. Thiglia, tied 109th, 4 over. Brian Campbell, Michael Brennan, tied 112, 5 over. Christopher Rayton, Peter Malnati. And then some are coming up at 6:19. Okay, now we'll do on this day. We have to do today and yesterday because so on this day a year ago from yesterday, we have a lot. 2018 Vikings on Saints on the Minneapolis Miracle. Ho, baby. Stephon Diggs from Case Keenum. What a time. 2021 Jaguars hire Urban Meyer. Disaster. 2020 Red Sox fire Alex Cora over Astro scandal. Disaster. But they brought him back because they realized they were stupid. 2020 Luke Kuechly retires. 2016 Eagles hire Doug Peterson. 2018 Jaguars defeat Steelers in wild card round. I remember that was Bortles. That was the same day as the mini miracle. 2021 Jets hire Robert Saleh. 2020 Antonio Gates retires. 2023 Jaguars overcome 27-0 deficit to eliminate the Chargers. That was the wild card round. But the Jags defeat the Steelers. That was in the divisional round. That wasn't the wild card round. That's wrong. The Chargers thing was the wild card round in 23. 2016 49ers hired Chip Kelly. That was a disaster. 2024 Packers defeat Cowboys in the wild card round. Jordan Love. In 2024 Washington hires Jed Fish. And then Lions hired Jim Caldwell. 2015 Raiders hired Jack Del Rio. 2024 VJ Edgecombe commits to Baylor. 2024 also Lions defeat Rams in the wild card round. 2016 the Bucks hired Dirk Cotter. 2018 Arizona hires Kevin Sumlin. 2015 the 49ers hired Jim Tom Zula. He was a fucking disaster. 2020 the Twins signed Josh Donaldson. 2017 Falcons defeat Seahawks in the divisional round. Matt Ryan over Russ Wilson. 2019 Syracuse upsets number 1 Duke. 2023 49ers defeat Seahawks in the wild card round. And 2000, you can't tell what that is. Something. 17 or 18, Jimmy Butler scores 53 points. Why is the Patriots logo there? That is so weird. And then, on this day today, January 15th, 2018, Giants acquire Andrew McCutchen from Pittsburgh. 2014, Vikings hire Mike Zimmer. Also 2014, Clayton Kershaw signs 7 years, $215 million extension. 2020, Golden Knights fire Gerard Gallant. 2024, Buccaneers defeat Eagles in the wild card round. That was the big upset on the Monday night. 2018, Titans fire Mike Mularkey. He was an awful coach. 2020, Golden Knights hire Pete DeBoer. That was the same day. 2017, the Packers defeat the Cowboys in the divisional round. That was the Rodgers great throw in the corner. I think it was to Richard Rodgers. 2021, Falcons hire Arthur Smith. 2013, Chargers hire Mike McCoy. 2021, Yankees re-sign DJ LeMahieu. And 2023, the Giants defeat the Vikings in the wildcard round with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. So there you have it for on this day. Now move on to the news and notes. And we have a big one to start it off. The New York Football Giants did it. They hired John Harbaugh to be their next head coach. What a hire. I mean, it's not official yet, but it's going to happen. They really didn't let him leave the building. And it's expected to be 5 years, $100 million. What a hire. Oh my God. The Giants needed an established coach with stability and is familiar to winning. I said that when they fired Brian Daboll, and I was very adamant about it. There are two guys that fit that bill, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, and they got one of them. And I am fired up. This team, I think, is in a good position to be a winning team in 2026. They need to obviously nail the 5th pick. They have some cap room. They obviously have a young franchise quarterback, a really good running back in Cam Scatteraboo, a WR1 in Malik Neighbors, a good pass rush, offensive line's improved. But there's some holes that they have to fill on the roster. And it looks like the Todd Monken is joining him, which is really good. That's what I think should happen, and we'll see who he brings on in his DC. Is it going to be a Wink Martindale reunion? Although I thought their Giants regressed in the second half of last year, and he got let go because of it. Maybe Antonio Pierce, but that would be like hiring within the family. And then the Giants dinner with Harbaugh, by the way, offered off-menu choices to help Giants get them. But the Giants had a one emoji post this morning too. But wow, I am so fired up about this coaching hire. Let's go. And the news broke right around midnight Eastern. And that was after it was reported that the Tennessee executives were to have an interview with Baltimore as as he was going to halt visits to the facilities. And then Jackson Dart was in the meeting too. And then the Giants are open to his demands. They're willing to offer him almost anything he wants, which is crazy. But this is a great day for the Giants. I was Team Harbaugh over Kevin Stefanski. And for those who wanted Kevin Stefanski, go take a fucking hike if you're crying over this fucking hire. Because what is Kevin Stefanski ultimately? A losing head coach. John Harbaugh's not. And the Giants know that. There's a reason that John Harbaugh's here and Stefanski's not. And I would have supported Stefanski. Made the case it's like, oh, the Browns, the reason he has a losing record, not necessarily because of him. But the naysayers of John Harbaugh would be like, oh, well, the Ravens blew so many games over the last couple years. But some of that is because of their defense and poor decision-making by Lamar Jackson. And sometimes you know when your time is up at a destination. The Giants had this issue with Tom Coughlin in his last year as well. So, sometimes you know when it's time to move on from an organization. So, I love it, and I don't want to hear no one crying over this hire. This is the best hire the Giants could make. I mean, the only one that would have not topped it, but equaled it would have been Mike Tomlin. But Mike Tomlin looks like he's going to media for a year. All right, let's finish this up because I don't have a lot of time. Willie Castro to the Rockies 2-year deal. The Phillies offered Real Muto 3 years, but the team has been a stare down with him for a while. It's kind of like the Yankees with Cody Bellinger. The Red Sox signed Ranger Suarez to a 5-year deal, $130 million. That is a great signing for Boston. Good number 2 starter behind Garrett Crochet in that rotation. They're going to be the hot pick to win that division now with him there and the Yankees guys being out for a while. And then Kyle Tucker's not expected to sign till today. Domantas Sabonis could return tomorrow after missing 27 games with a partial meniscus tear in his knee. Cam Whitmore's out for the year. That's brutal for the Wizards. Nikola Jokic could return this month. That's great. Trae Young will be reevaluated after the All-Star break. Darius Garland missed the much of the game against the Sixers after hurting his non-surgically repaired foot. Jalen Brunson left in the first quarter with an ankle sprain. He will miss the game tonight against Golden State. Mike Brown ripped the team, one of the worst losses of the season. I think he was just pissed that he lost to his old team. And he's not using Brunson being hurt as the excuse. I mean, he's just a good guy, and I just think that he wants to motivate his team. Tim McGraw to perform at Bruins Lightning outdoor game at the Bucks Stadium. LeBron had an Instagram post on the haters. He knows the critics will remember him. Clayton Kershaw joins Team USA for the final action of his career. Nolan Arenado in shock after being dealt to the Diamondbacks. Jonathan Kuminga requested a trade. He finally demands the move after all these reports. I mean, I don't blame him. The team hates him, clearly. So Kayla Harrison out of UFC 324 as Harrison versus Amanda Nunes postponed after Kayla's neck injury. Not cool there. That would have been a fun match. So Dante Moore's going back to school despite being the number 2 quarterback on most people's boards. A lot of people's instant reaction is, oh, well, he didn't want to go to the Jets. And then Dylan Raiola is to back up Morris. Dante's return to Oregon not expected to change Raiola's transfer plans. Bryson DeChambeau teased his career change as he says he has viable option after his LIV contract expires. Looks like he'll probably go back to the PGA with Brooks Koepka. So Jordan Smith, an amateur $1 million 1-point tennis tourney, as he wins 48 players single elimination tournament matches, last only 1 point. 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class announced featuring Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. Dante Moore gives up nearly $50 million by foregoing the NFL draft. So BYU's retiring Jimmer Fredette's jersey on Valentine's Day on February 14th, number 32. College basketball adopts new transfer window as they announced the portal will open 15-day period after men's and women's national title games. That's great. Why can't college football do that too? Mike McDaniel's open to being an offensive coordinator. He very much likes the idea if he cannot get a head coaching job. Aaron Rodgers sobbed over Mike Tomlin as Rodgers told Tomlin, "I'm sorry," multiple times during goodbye meeting. That's sad. And then the exit was like a funeral. Robert Saleh to meet with the Ravens and the Titans for their coaching job. The Dolphins owner was offered $15 billion, but Stephen Ross plans to keep team in the family despite the big proposal. Eagles' early offensive coordinator targets include Mike McDaniel and Brian Daboll. I think Daboll would be funny because obviously he reunites with Saquon and they're trying to stick it to the Giants, obviously. And then Tyreek Hill had a post that had him stirring the pot. The Steelers start their head coaching search as they request to interview Rams passing game coordinator Nate Scheelhaas and defensive coordinator Chris Shula. Howie Roseman talked about why A.J. Brown could be kept out of trade talks. The Steelers had a nice tribute to Mike Tomlin. Top MLB international signings. The Giants lock up the top prospect for $5 million. Teams interested in Jonathan Kuminga include Sacramento and Dallas. I think Sacramento would make sense. John Morant bought a house in Miami. $3.2 million home in December amid Heat rumors. That's crazy. And then they actually talked with the Heat about Morant's availability. Chris Paul still hoping to return after that Clippers exit. He didn't want the career to end like that. How about this? Jonathan Kuminga was not Steve Kerr's choice as he wanted Franz Wagner in 2021. Wow. And then Kuminga was actually at shoot-around as he makes an appearance after reported trade demand. Fred Warner out the divisional round after they talked about him being activated. It could be for the NFC title game if they move on. How about this? Sam Darnold's questionable with an oblique injury. That's crazy. Patrick Mahomes eyeing week 1 return after the ACL injury. Xavier Worthy undergoes surgery after repairing torn labrum. 2026 NFL draft eligibles: Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love, among 42 players to renounce their college football eligibility. So there you have it for news and notes. Best bet brought to you by FanDuel. There was one I liked. Hopefully I get it, because I know there's games underway. I'm sure I can, because I think it's a later game. And it is in college hoops. The Ohio Valley Conference. I'm going to take Lindenwood. I think it's an 8:30 game. I can't find it. Yeah, Lindenwood was getting points. Why can't I find the damn game? Oh, it's a 9 o'clock game. Lindenwood 6.5 against Southeast Missouri State. I think that is extremely high. I think Lindenwood can win. So I'm going to take them plus 6.5 against Southeast Missouri State for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look at everything tomorrow in the weekend, including the NFL divisional round games. So I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.